games are so good. The games are so good. I love the games. I love the world that they've created. I love that they use the classic music from Tim Burton movies. They've kind of got the Dan Elfman music in it, right? And they've even got like the John Williams Superman music in it. They're using like Batman all in black, right? Like they've really created this amazing world for the game universe. But when we sat down to make these movies, we kind of wanted to have a little more freedom to explore and maybe go in different directions from that. And so we set out to disconnect ourselves from the game, just to have a little more freedom with the writing, so that what we do in our movies doesn't have to affect what they do in their games, because we wouldn't want to inhibit them. And I think again, we just want to grow our characters, and so the divide was helpful to us. And so we tried to show that by dressing Batman a little different. He's in the classic kind of blue and gray a lot of times in these movies, and of course our music is also very different. Pulling a lot of influence, even from classic Warner Brothers animation. Carl Stalling influences in the music. Our composer Tim Kelly has been able to find, I think, a really unique voice in the music, which has also been very helpful to set us apart from other just DC Universe stuff in general.
Do you feel like in some time, and like some movies they do you think that certain things only just work specifically in the movies as opposed to the games, or vice versa?
Do some things work better in the games than in the movies?
That couldn't work necessarily in the other movie. Like, some things will work just with the movies, and the games are just...
That's a great question. I'm trying to think of like a specific thing. I mean, nothing really comes to mind, because again, they're telling great stories in the games. So yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now that like one wouldn't work in the other.
But it's a very different thing.
Interactive and
Interactive.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's the interaction, but from a story standpoint, I don't know that there would be much of a separation.
I mean, in terms of the story, I'm thinking, okay, the game serves the story, which is I understand, has to serve whatever the goals are you're trying to accomplish.
True.
The story just has to serve the purpose of entertaining the viewer.
Right.
So, I mean, that doesn't change things at all, you don't think?
Story should always come first. So I'm not sure how they plan their games. If they have like level designs first and then wrap a story around the level designs, or if the stories come first and then they design the levels around the story. You know what I mean? That would be a great question for them. I don't know how they approach it. I think for us, it's a little bit of that. I mean, I think what we do is we sit down. Let me describe our process. What we do, we sit down with our friends at Lego and at DC Comics, and we all sort of have an idea of what we want to do with our next movie, right? So it's very much like playing with toys with your friends. Everybody brings their favorite action figures over, and then we could do this, and then we could do that, right? It's fun. And so that's kind of how things start, and then we do find a way to wrap a story around it. And again, we've kind of created a through line for the movies. When we started out, we started at an early stage in Batman's career, where he just joins the Justice League, just comes around to joining the Justice League. Cyborg is new on the Justice League. The Justice League is really just formed. So that gave us a structure for all of the movies that we've made so far. And that was the through line. They're all new. Let's see how they get to know each other. Let's see what kind of comedy comes out of that. The next step is like movie by movie. Again, we have this collaborative effort with all of our friends. And I'll bring story ideas to the table. Jim will bring story ideas to the table. And it's a lot of pitching, right? And we find the story that everybody likes. And then again, we get some input from Lego and DC about maybe can we add a character like this, or can we add a Lego construction set that looks like this. And so we try and incorporate all of that in. So it is very much a build it as we go sort of a thing. But it all is wrapped around a story thread that started again with Batman joining the Justice League, or a story thread where we find a meaningful story for Batman, or in the case of the last movie, Cyborg had a very important story where he learned and he grew and he had an emotional through line that sort of became the skeleton that all the jokes stick to. Does that make sense? So that's how the planning goes. But I don't know how that would inform the games.
I would assume that with DC, their primary concern is making sure their characters are portrayed true to character.
Yeah.
So you're saying that Lego also wants some level of creative input, like you mentioned something about like a particular play set that they have, that they like worked in, like what kind of input do they have?
That's pretty much it. I mean, they're great collaborators, and they're experts at making toys, and they really trust us in making stories and working with these characters. So we get together and we have conversations about certain Lego designs. Because obviously that's very important to them, the Lego design work, and then of course to DC, the DC characters, very important to them and the stories that we tell with those characters.
So you may work in stuff in Lego that's not specific to DC. It may be just their particular thing that you're working on. Is that accurate? Or?
In their DC minds, sure.
Oh, only in their DC.
Yeah, I mean, I've been able, because I'm a fan of Lego myself, and you should see my office. It's full of reference material, and lots of Lego sets. Yeah, and so in as a for example, for instance, the last movie that we did, Attack of the Legion of Doom, Justice League visits Area 52, not Area 51, Area 52, and we populated that with some old UFO sets. I forget what the name of the line was, but it was like from a few years back. They had done a whole line of aliens, flying saucers. It was like a real classic, flying saucers. Right. Yeah, and so asked them if we could fold those in, and we changed them a little bit, but we kind of worked them in. And so yeah, every once in a while you'll see something in there that might come from an older non-DC set, just because it's fun.
They're not licensed.
Are they licensed?
As long as they're not
licensed.
Right,
yes. Very important distinction, yeah.
And you're not from the Universal Monster, and
right, yeah. Right.
If you could talk them into that, would you ever want to do like a Marvel DC Lego crossover?
I don't know if I could ever talk them into that. That'd be fun. That'd be super fun. Yeah.
We've talked with a couple people today about how you guys have a very large well to draw from, just because you're not limiting yourselves. You're able to draw from the comics, from the movies, from the television shows. What aspect would you like to see most worked into your guys' movies in the future? Like, is there something specific from the comics that you would like to see brought in, an aspect of the character, or maybe a particular villain that hasn't made an appearance yet?
Yeah, I mean, sure. There's always influence from there. I like some of the little moments in the books that I read. So I grew up reading, a particular run of Batman and Detective Comics, and for example, I was able to pull from there something called the vibrating palm technique, which was a Batman gimmick that he had learned in his martial arts training. Is like this, ancient and forbidden technique of, vibrating the palm at a certain frequency that could, basically kill a man if you touched him, right? So, of course, it was kind of dark in the book, and there's death as a result of it. But I was able to kind of pull it into the last Lego movie that we did, and he used it at Area 52 going up against Black Manta. Of course, he didn't kill Black Manta, but you have fun with things like that from the DC universe. So yeah, you're right. I mean, it's such an incredibly deep well, and there's just no end to stuff that we can pull from it. And I love trying to pull stuff from it, especially if fans can spot it. Older fans, maybe parents that are fans watching it with their kids, and if they can spot these little Easter eggs from the old books that we put in, all the better.
Would there ever be a time that you might focus on use of DC universe and tell a story that just focuses outside of maybe Batman, Superman, and usually the main characters of the DC universe, but something a little bit much more focused on that's characters that not necessarily
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that does kind of go back to the conversations we have with DC, and we kind of figure out together what characters would be a good fit. But we've done a little bit of that. I think in the last movie we had Trickster. In this coming movie in Cosmic Flash, we're going to meet Captain Fear. We also have the Legion of Superheroes, and I think a lot of the younger generations out there may not know who all of these characters are. I mean, the Legion of Superheroes is certainly not really obscure, I think, to older fans, right? But I think for a lot of young kids out there that don't quite have that knowledge of the DC universe, this is their first time meeting characters like the Legion of Superheroes. That's pretty cool.
Although they did have the animated series.
Yes, and I worked on the animated series too. Yeah, I directed on the second season of that. So it was a thrill to kind of get to work with those characters again. And I was even able to get Kari Wahlgren to play Saturn Girl, who she voiced that character in the original series. And also Andy Milder, who played Lightning Lad in the original animated series, who plays Lightning Lad in this series. So yeah, little moments like that, pull from the well, get in there for some of the parents that might be watching, older fans. But it's brand new to some of the youngsters out there, and how awesome is that we get to, kind of share our love of these obscure characters like the Legion and with these young kids.
Is it weird when characters like that, where you grew up and you've always known them as who you know, but the wider world doesn't know, and now all of a sudden the wider world is knowing these characters? Is that weird for you?
I wouldn't say weird, but it sure is fun, Because again, it's like, we're all geeks that make this stuff, man. We love this stuff. It's so fun to get to work with any of these characters in the DCU because they've made so many great comics with these characters. So yeah, anytime you can kind of float new characters out to the world through our movies, and people discover them and like get into them, and you're like growing the ranks.
Talking with Bill about that new show that they announced, Damage. And that's like, you talk about obscure, that's an obscure series, and now all of a sudden it's going to be a show on ABC. It's like, to me, that's weird. It's weird. I loved it as a comic, but I don't think it's going to be a show on ABC. No.
We live in great times, don't we? That, like, this stuff can happen.
And a better time to be a nerd.
Right.
I mean, look where we are and how many people are outside.
Yeah, it's true. Did you have a question? What do you got?
I just wanted to know what the biggest challenge for you was in this particular
comedy. So hard to spin comedy out of serious characters. But in that huge challenge is, I think, also the fun. I've done mostly serious stuff in my career. So to me, it's been a challenge. I think, I'm learning a lot about comedy. Jim Creed, amazing writer. Like, he's so fast with comedy and like pitching jokes and stuff. And that's so much of what comedy is like really getting in a room with people you trust, good writers, good people that just have a good sense of good knowledge of the DC universe and a good sense of humor, so that you can pitch these jokes about DC jokes, and is it funny to the DC audience? It's really important to surround yourself with people that have both. So I've been learning a lot about that at both the writing stage with Rick Morales, our director, at the storyboarding stage. We're constantly writing jokes as we're drawing, right? So there's the number of jokes that we write into the script, but we're also like just inventing jokes as we're drawing them into the storyboards. Yeah. And then there's also the later phases as well. There's I work with the composer very closely to he writes music that will help elevate the comedy in a sequence. Because if you take the music out, a lot of times it doesn't feel fun anymore, right? So the music goes a long way in bringing a level of fun and funny to these moments, as do the sound effects. So that's been fun as well. I've been rewatching like old Bugs Bunnies and stuff, like classic Warner Brothers and Hanna-Barbera animation. Yeah, exactly. Because like so much comedy came from the sound effects that they used, and like the specific volume of the sound effect even would become part of the joke. So that's been, again, the biggest challenge is like, where do you put those jokes for both, action, dialogue, sound effects, and music? Like, that's your tool set. How do you use it? And that is very challenging, but fun at the same time. Interesting. Yeah.